Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome. Coach Hadassah here, metaphysician, personal development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and founding member and leader in Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide. And today is what? It's our Wealth Wednesday talk. Say it again, sister. Sister said happy Wednesday. And it's and she said, "Hey, Michelle, I don't think Michelle's not on here today. I think she's doing she has a lot of business to take care of. So I hope that she can at least chime in. Of course, she can't be on the actual live stream, but she might be able to chime in. So it's our Wealth Wednesday, right? And what are we talking about this Wednesday? Then look, there's a quote that I put up earlier today that if you didn't come from a wealthy family must come from you. If you're here, it starts with you, right? It can begin with you today. If we call ourselves believers, and look, I did something because it's like, first of all, what does wealth look like? Okay. Many people, I didn't break out the fur, the fur, right? Like the real fur. But this is, you know, let them wait. Sister, remember that part on Coming to America? he had that whole animal. He had a whole lion on, put it right. Let them wait, right? That's what we're gonna do. So, like, what does it look like? Okay. As a matter of fact, I need to put this in the cleaners. I had to put my valuables, right? That's my good fur sweater. Um, but what does it look like? We often associate wealth with some things, substance, of course. And of course substance is what it is. And when we say substance, that means that it's filled with things of value, right? That has value. But if we don't come from a wealthy family, right? A wealthy family must come from us. It it um I mean, that surprises me, but like when I go through to do my due diligence and research, okay, into what wealth is, what it really is. And we talked about that last Wednesday with wealth, and well is a root word, WEAL, and it's well-being, it's welfare. In the scriptures, when any time that wealth was brought up, it dealt with the family, the children. That's wealth according to the scriptures. That was wealth. And that's one of the things that when Abram turned Abraham, like once he had his encounter with Elohim and he renamed him, he said that your name should now be called Abraham, because he said you will be a father of many nations. That was wealth right there. He was like, your seed, right? Your seed, and you will be a father of many nations from your seed. So wealth is our children, not things. You know what I'm saying? It's not things. Wealth is our children. And so, do we value our children? So Sonia, she asked a question. She said, so it is not primarily about money, right? Well, here's the thing about money. It's currency. Money is currency. So that's what it's really called, currency. Okay. Now, currency has a root word, and current. Well, what is in current? A current is an energy. What is energy? Energy is spirit. So we have to trace this all the way back to its origin and its spirit. And here's the thing about the word spirit, or yeah, let's say spirit. Spirit, father, origin, it's synonymous. Those words are synonymous. It's one and the same. So our origin is, or what we originated from, is spirit. And the thing that we can actually see, because like Romans 1:19 and 20, it says that which may be known of Yahweh or the Creator is manifest or made plain in them. Well, who is them? Us, right? So that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them, for he has shown it unto them. He's shown it unto us, right? So that the invisible things of the creation are clearly seen by the things that are made. So we can see something invisible by what's made. We can see invisible things because invisible things must turn into or manifest into material things, right? And so here's the thing. How can we understand something about spirit or origin or father? Well, we all have a father and a mother. If the word father is origin and origin is spirit, then the word mother is mature and mature is matter. Spirit matter. We're all spirit matter because we do come from a mother and a father, right? We have a father and a mother. you know? And so here's the thing about it: father and mother, or spirit and matter, manifest into us, children. And so that's the wealth. So when we're passing down, like say we're, leaving inheritance to your children's children, right? We're leaving. Why are we leaving it to our children? Because our children is our wealth. The children is the wealth. And then the things that we accumulate that is of value, we pass that on to them with the wisdom and the knowledge so that they can maintain it and sustain it and continue to pass it on. And so therefore it's like say what we do, because we're a part of, we're members of Extreme FX Global Academy, our common unity, our tribe. Where did the children of Israel come from? They were tribes. They were 12 tribes. So, we say that a lot, like find your tribe, find your tribe, find your tribe. But here's the thing about it. In your tribe, each tribe had wealth, right? They were all wealthy. And the only tribe that didn't have the actual the material wealth was the tribe of Levi, or the Levites, because they were the priests. So what was passed down pretty much in that tribe was the service of priesthood, where they served in the temple. But here's the thing about it: just because they didn't have the material wealth, they were well taken care of still, right? They the ones that lived in the temple. You know, they lived in the temple. And so they had to have, because the priests, when they went in, it was things that they had to do when the children of Israel, but they brought it. Not only did they bring in sacrifices, the sacrifices were because of their disobedience. Like if if they've had to sacrifice whatever goat animal, or whatever, it was for their sin. But then they had offerings, right? They had offerings. So there was free will offerings, and it was all different type of offerings that they had, but then also sacrifices. And that sacrifice was for, again, sin. Sin means ignorance, right? They ignored or was ignorant of the law. Just one and the same, right? If you ignored it, that means you knew it, but you didn't pay attention to it and you did something that you weren't supposed to be doing anyway, ignoring the law, or you were actually ignorant of it, like you didn't know that it even existed. And then that meant that somebody didn't teach you, most likely your parents, you know, and the tribe and the family and the community at large. It's like, well, how didn't you know? With all of these people, they're supposed to know it, right? They're supposed to know it, and they're supposed to keep it. And that was what was given to them in Deuteronomy chapter 6, where he told them, yeah, um teach your children when you rise up, when you lay down, when you're walking by the wayside, when you're going this way. I mean, like, at all times, you wasn't supposed to let up. We learn through repetition. That's how we learn. And so that's why I said in the scripture, teach your children when y'all rise up in the morning, when you go to bed, when you're walking by the wayside, when you just at all times. Because what? Repetition. Repetitiously, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. Repetitiously, we have seasons: the spring, summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer, autumn, winter, repetitiously. We know exactly what happens in each season. We know that in the spring season, we're going to have some rain. We're going to have some sunny days. We're going to have some gloomy days. We're going to have better weather where it breaks at least above 40, you know, and then we're going to move into the summertime, where it's still, we do still have rain in the summer too, or else we'll scorch to death, right? And so we do still have rain, but we have more sun. We have even the temperature starts to rise and stabilize, where we may be like in the 70s and the 80s and even some of the 90s, things like that. We know that in the summertime we can take off the coats and all of that stuff. And then what? You move into the fall, excuse me, that means that the temperatures are about to start going down. It's still going to have some rain, right? The temperatures start to fall, the leaves start to fall off the trees, and all of that good stuff. And then, of course, wintertime. What happens in the winter? Temperatures even fall even lower. We may have snow, some ice storms, or wherever it is wherever you live, pretty much. But those are the seasons. Happens like that all the time, right? And are we out there in the summertime with a fur coat on and some boots and stuff? I hope not. If we are, we'll be you see somebody out there like that, you'll be looking like, um somebody wanna get them. Me, we automatically think that person is cuckoo, like they crazy. Like, what's wrong with this person? It is summertime. Why are they out here with a fur coat and and boots on and a shovel? Like, what are they shoveling? You see what I'm saying? So it's like being in season, on time, in season, and then those are laws of nature. Nature is following its law. So we, as parents, even our parents, right? Our parents are supposed to, teach us these things, right? So that we know the universal laws, not man-made. I mean, of course, we have to know the man-made stuff, but here's the thing about it. When we know spirit law, and when we know and understand universal spirit law, then guess what? We don't break man's law. You know why? Because man laws are really against, they make those laws according to human behavior, and then set certain things up to where it's like, I know that they're going to break this law, this man-made law, because we've just set some things up that's against human nature. Like, if we take away this, we know that they're going to automatically do this, and so we're going to make a law against that. It's real deep. You know what I'm saying? The rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. However, if we, as parents, we just gonna start with us, right? If we as parents, number one, we value ourselves. Okay. Again, if we didn't come from a wealthy family must come from us. We value ourselves. We get to know and understand what those wealth principles are. Anybody, I mean, like I got a lot of, I know a lot of wealthy people. I have a lot of the wealthy books and principles and stuff that we follow, right? That we adhere to. However, guess what? All of them are based in scripture. That's where they come from because they're principles. What is a principle? A principle is a law, right? Sonia says, um, it says so let's create a law for punishment when that law is broken. That's pretty much what happens. But that was the way to keep or how can I say it? I mean, it's just kind of like us as parents, right? We have children and we have certain rules and everything of our house, and even the rules of like behavior, right? And the way that we have our children behave, because we know that if they behave in a way that's just not like a big no, they can end up hurting themselves, hurting somebody else, in jail, dead, right? And so you have to set certain things up so that it's like so that they won't go too far overboard, right? Well, that was the same thing in the scriptures. That's all that was laid out. So when they if they broke a law, then it was certain things that they had to do. That was like a correction, a behavior correction. Because here was the thing about, like, as far as like wealth, like the wealth that they had back in those days, where their wealth was land. Well, land is still wealth, okay? Because we're supposed to have dominion here, right? The kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. So we're supposed to dominate here on earth. Where your feet are, you dominate. Period. You know what I'm saying? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where your feet are, you dominate. Where your feet tread, it's yours. However, the only way that is not is either one, you're not aware of your authority and you don't know, right? You haven't stepped into your true divine authority, or you broke a spirit law, a universal spirit law, period. And then we've given our dominion over. But then when we give it over, just like what happened with Eve in the garden, where everything was ready, it's just like, okay, the father, right? Father, mother, okay, spirit, matter. Everything was already there and right for the picking. Okay. All they had to do was maintain it, stewardship, right? He said, I give them dominion. Okay, they have dominion. Them, not just him. He said them. That means the male and the female, the woman and the man. Domination, right? Dominate. They have dominion. So then what happened? Here comes that serpent, not snake, serpent. Serpent means to twist. He asked her a question and she answered. And that serpent just twisted the words. You won't surely die. They didn't even know what death was. You won't surely die. It's just that your eyes will be open and you'll be wise. They already had everything. They already had wisdom, right? They were already living life. You won't surely die. You didn't even know what death was. You know what I'm saying? And promising you something that you already have. You'll be wise. You are wise, right? Our Father's attributes or character is wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, beauty, love, justice, foundation, power, and strength. You already have that. You already got it. What do you mean you'll be wise? I'm wise already, right? It's like I used to say all the time, man, it's some people that's out there, they'll sell you your drawers and you already have them on. You already wearing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's like, oh, here, let me give you this money for them. You already have them on you. No, right? So that deception came in to deceive you from what? Knowing who you are, knowing the authority that you already have. No, we're not doing that 2021 and beyond. You know what I'm saying? It is time for you know who you are, the authority that you have, right? Value yourself and everything that you have within you. That is wealth. You are wealthy, period, already. Because what does scripture say? Seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh first, right? And his righteousness. That's in us already, right? And then guess what? All these things, well, what are these things? Well, earlier on, like in that context, he was talking about, like why are you worrying about foods and clothes and money and all that? Why are you worried about that? It's like, look at the birds. He like, look at the animals that were made. He said that you would be higher than the birds in the air and the animals and all of that. Why is that? Because they operate off of spirit law, operate off the spirit. We have the spirit. We have it, right? So seek ye the kingdom that is within and the righteousness of it. The righteousness. And then all this stuff gonna be added. You do not have to worry about what you're gonna wear, what kind of clothes, the material, your shoes. If you're gonna have enough to do this or that, and you pay your bills, no, that takes up too much brain space and energy. I'm telling you, it's something we were discussing that yesterday about, once we really got everything together and we're not behind and as a matter of fact, we're ahead. And we sitting up there like, what do we do now? What do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do today? I don't take a drive, catch a flight, sit here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You almost don't know what to do with yourself. And that's crazy, to be honest with you. It's crazy because that just lets you know how much time and energy and brain space that has been spent on things that shouldn't even be. It's not even worth your time. It's not even worthy of who you are. You are wealthy. You already are wealthy, right? You just have to know it. You just have to know, and not only just know it, but you have to understand it, because it's that understanding that's wisdom and the application. And then when you are there, it's an energy that it permeates and it exudes. Well, guess what? Because your children, who's your wealth, are in that same vein, they're in that same energy. When you do that with you, do you know how it clears the DNA? It clears theirs as well. And then there's a shift. There is a shift in your DNA, and it shifts theirs just because of the energy. That's epigenetics, right? Above the genes, above the DNA. Okay. And then what? Because not only are we, so our children is our wealth. So then not only are we just passing down, the material things, because okay, yeah, we can do all of that and say especially if you, because I look, I've already, not that I'm just claiming it, as far as like, ooh, I claim it in the name. And no, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about like I straight up had a prophetic dream. It happened to me like 21 years ago, right? Where, man, when I woke up, just the energy that was exuding from my heart and just all over my body, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? And then there was a process of time that had to happen or take place in order to clear some things out. That's just basically what it was, as a process. But now it's time. It's time. Because when you do that, you seek the kingdom and his righteousness. He said all these things will be added unto you. Right now, it's just open up the windows, the storehouses, in receiving position, just in receiving position. And then doing what? I mean, I'm just using this as illustrations. Doing what? Like, why would the Heavenly Father tell me to homeschool? That was not on my radar at all whatsoever. Told me that I must homeschool. I got something for you to do and you can't do it behind this chair. That's what I was told as I was working in a salon. Right? You can't do it behind this chair. You must homeschool your children. I'm like, well, why? Well, I found out why as I continue to do my research, like, oh my gosh, this is what is going on. And environment is everything. That's something that we talked about today on Morning Motivation Call, about the environment. You know, you a shark in a fish bowl. You no. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot. No, right? The seed must have the right environment and conditions. This is what I want you to do. After we get off here, go on YouTube and I want you to search a man by the name of Bruce Lipton. Okay, Bruce Lipton. He wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. Get that book, read it. But you'll see a host of videos that he has there. But basically his premise, he's a biologist, of course, and he said that, this experiment, it started speaking to him because everything is spirit. And when you really do meditate and tune in, nature will begin to speak to you. You could hear it. This is why it's so important. No, Lipton, Lipton, like Lipton tea, Lipton, Bruce Lipton. And so with biology of belief, basically what he did was he took a culture, he took muscle tissue culture and put it in, I think it was like 2 or 3 petri dishes. And he had them in like different environments. Well, in one environment, the muscle tissue, that culture, yes, that's correct. I'm going to highlight that. Um, and that culture turned into actual muscle. And then in another petri dish where the culture was, it turned into fat. It turned into fat. And then another environment, it just didn't do anything at all. And he was wondering, he said, how did I have this, scientists, that's the way their brains work, right? How is it that I took this same tissue and 3 petri dishes and they all turned out differently? So, of course, as scientists, you observe, right? You observe. Well, this is what happened. he noticed the environment that the petri dish was in with the muscle tissue culture that turned into actual muscle was in a healthier environment. The other one that turned into fat wasn't in a good environment. It wasn't in a healthy environment. It was kind of dark, dim, you know. And the other one, same thing, right? Well, that's when he realized and then applied it to everything. See, these things are applicable to a lot of things. That it's the environment. So then he took that research even further, because it's like, okay, like say for instance, you have this thing that runs in your family, right? We're still on topic that if you didn't come from a wealthy family must come from you. Okay. That with epigenetics, epi meaning above, genetics, we know what that is, gene, DNA, right? Genetics. So epigenetics is, all right, you have, let's say, a certain dis-ease. That means not at ease. A certain dis-ease runs through the family. All my family runs, high blood pressure or hypertension runs in the family. Diabetes runs in the family. Heart issues or conditions, heart attacks runs in the family, right? All of these things like runs in the family. Well, the reason why it runs in the family is because the family is doing the same things. They're handling stress the same way. They're living their lives the same way. They're in the same environment. They have the same environment in their mind, right? They cook the same way. Their habits are the same. And because of that, it continues to run in the family until somebody breaks the mold, break out of that unhealthy environment, right? Starts to do something differently. And usually that looks like the black sheep of the family, right? They're not doing the same things that we're doing. They're not sitting there complaining about this or handling stress this way or whatever. And so they just decided, hey, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Love everybody here, but no, I'm gonna do something different, and maybe just move all the way away. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, they don't want to have nothing to do with us. And then guess what? Their health is better. Their mindset, the certain gene that was running in the family is turned off, right? The Ebroca virus is not there anymore, right? You know what I'm saying? The Ebroca virus, no, we're not doing that. Okay. The just barely getting by, no, we're not doing that anymore. Just changing everything, changing the mindset, because guess what? That's where it all starts there. That's what happened to Abraham. That is the reason why, in Genesis, it talked about, in Genesis, it just said, oh, get thee away from thy country and away from thy family and go to a land. But you had to know why. Well, you found out why in the book of Jasher. In the book of Jasher, it gave a greater detail, right? Abram's family, his father, the environment that he was in, they were idol worshiping. They were idol worshipers. They built stuff, idols or whatever, with their hands and started praying to it and all of that kind of stuff. The whole environment was sick, right? And he was like, there's something just not right here. He observed. And when he did that and observed, then that's when Yahweh started speaking to him and told him, get away from here. Get out of this environment. Get out of your father's house. Get out of country, get out of this country. As a matter of fact, the whole country's sick. Just get out of it, right? Go far away. Go over here. Well, I'm gonna tell, and I'm gonna bless you over there because I can't even do it in this environment. You know, so a lot of times, look, you got people that move and just stuff all the time, and you might have to because the whole environment might be sick. Here it is, Heavenly Father trying to bless you with substance and your children and all of that kind of stuff, but just and you feel it, you know it's there and all of that, but it's like, man, I can't even give you this here. It's gonna get ate up or whatever. You have to go over there where I'm gonna tell you to go, and I'm gonna bless you over there. Wealth. That's how. And when Abraham did that, next thing you know, and the first thing that he said was, he's like, I don't have any children. They knew that wealth was the children. I don't have a son. Right? I so if I go over there and do it, I'm what I'm gonna get out this deal, because it has to go both ways. It's just not one way. A negotiation took place. Look, he negotiated with Yahweh. Okay, I'll go, but what will I get? I don't even have a son. He was like, you're gonna have a son. As a matter of fact, your seed. He said, if you can count the stars of heaven, if you can count the sands of the sea, you will be able to count your children. That's wealth. That's wealth. And so, look, here's something here. It's one of these little books I got. How to teach your kids to be millionaires. Right? It's a lot of, little it's a good, this a good beginners type of read or whatever. This is one of the books that I use in our homeschool curriculum for my children, just to get their minds there, because I already knew what was prophesied to me. Look, and it wasn't a conference call. You know what I'm saying? It's like I try to tell people, and it's like, well, they can't see it because that wasn't something that was given to them. That was a conversation that took place in a prophetic dream that I was given. And so it's like, okay, I got to teach my children this, because if I'm the first one, everything that I've been through over the past 20 something, not even 20 something, just how about, let me say, hell, look, I'll be 46 next month. In these 46 years of my life, it's like, to my children, bruh, right? Y'all gonna have to have wisdom and knowledge here, because I done been through hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm a straight up Aries ram for real, talking about the sacrifice. Geesh. And so they have to have some wisdom and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They have to have some for real wisdom and knowledge, because after everything, I'm not taking it with me. I'm leaving here empty. Right? I'm leaving here. I'm with my life. I'm gonna call you right back. But and then of course, this was one of our rich kids, smart kids, right? Well, look, when I went to Borders, y'all remember Borders? When I went to Borders some odd years ago, when I first saw Rich Dad Poor Dad, I went to go buy that, and I saw this, and I bought this book. I'm like, Rich Kid Smart Kid. I was like, I'm gonna sit down with my children. You know what I'm saying? Me and my children gonna go through this book here, and we did. We did. And so it's not only that, but then look, taking care of business, because what? Establishing a financial legacy for the African American family. We got to get this thing in order, right? We have to get it together. And it's not just for us. It is for our children. Our children has to be taught this. First of all, they got to be taught the principles, right? They need to be taught the principles. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. So it's wisdom and knowledge that we're passing down, because the stuff we'll have it, right? We have the gold, we have the silver, we have the investments, we have all of that, right? We'll have the land, we'll have all of that. But then, okay, after we go, and if they don't have the wisdom and knowledge to know how to keep it, after we done sacrificed a lot to be the first ones to get it, it was like you did it all in vain. Are we doing this work in vain? Right? Are we here in this community in vain? Are you doing what you're doing in vain? Are you deciding to get a business and everything in vain? Or are we really setting our children up for generational wealth and then teaching them how to continue to teach, the next generation and the next generation and the next generation? You know what I'm saying? How many generations? These other people who, not, I won't say all of them have done things in unrighteousness, but a lot of them has. A lot of them have. But look, got old money, old. And I say old wealth, old wealth. Wealth is built with a community. It is not single-handedly. Now, the self-made may start with, hey, I'm deciding to do something different than anybody in my family or anything like that today. Like, yeah, I can say that I decided to do that. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to educate myself differently, right? It's like I observed. It's like I see something right here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's not no knock on anybody or anything like that. It's just that something was not right with the teaching, the educational system. I can't even blame them. It's the educational system, the way it was set up, the way certain things happened, these different movements that took place at that time. All of that was, man, they did a number on our people. They really did. But look, some people were able to see and observe that something wasn't right, right? Something wasn't right. And so we have to self-educate, at least until we get with the right tribe, right? We get with the right tribe where it's like, oh, these things that I was educating myself on, there's a whole community over here they know, they think this same way. They know these things. You know what I'm saying? All of these things. I know that's what I did. And I'm like, if I have to go at it alone, then I just have to go at it alone. It's better to be alone in a healthy environment than be in an unhealthy environment with a cesspool in a cesspool. I'll just say that. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what happened. Because what? When we get there and we do that, then we have things where we can, set up our businesses and charities and give back. Give back to a community that, I could say for us, like me and sister, what you say you wanted to do, sister? Sister said that she wants to open up wait, say it again. The respite center. She said real bad, right? Like a respite care, because of what? Oh, she said it's burning in her heart. Sister, don't have me on here crying. Sister trying to have me on here crying. I ain't breaking down today. Today it ain't no. Right? Look, I got my tissue. We're not doing that, sister, today. But she wants to have a respite care center, right? Because what? We know what that's like. We know what that's like not to have respite or access to respite or the things that has changed. We were like right there, about to put in our application and had all of this stuff ready that we had to do for respite, and then guess what? Boom, program shut down. No funding. No funding. All of these different things are happening where look, things that people need: care for the elderly, care for the disabled, and funding is gone. How? Where? Whose pocket is it going into? Right? And so, look, what is it that's near and dear to your heart? That you need wealth in order for you to be able to do something about it, right? To set up these things, to really truly help certain communities. And it doesn't take 1,000 years. It really don't. Just like it didn't take the children of Israel 40 years to go through the wilderness. It was really 40 days, which was 6 weeks. 6 weeks. If we get it together in 6 weeks, 6 weeks or 6 months or something, we can see a difference. But we have to start today. And we really truly have to start with ourselves so that energy can just really transfer, and that epigenetics, right? That can start working with our children, and we teach them something. Yes, look, I'm gonna put that there because exactly, I need help to build wellness by exactly. That's the same thing with me. I have Supernatural Wellness Center, got the plans and all of that. It's a whole everything, but it needs funding. It needs funding. And I'm sorry, but these grants and business loans and stuff that's out here is not gonna cut it. And plus, Yahweh already told me. He said, "My glory I will not give to another." So therefore, I have something. I have another way in order for you to fund it. Right? Right? So, right? So look, Sonia, will you be in Houston? Will you be in Houston? I hope so. If not, then that's fine. We reach out, we'll talk. But we'll be in Houston for the Houston event, March 26th, through the 28th. So if anybody here that's watching that is not a part of our community and you are in Houston, I want you to be my guest. I'm coming in on the 26th. I'll be there from the 26th to the 28th. So on the 26th and the 27th, come out. Reach out to me, get in touch with me, inbox me, whatever. I'm here on all of these platforms, but just inbox me, and we will connect because I'll be there. I will be there next weekend. I arrive on Friday and I'll be there until, might as well say Saturday night, because I fly back home so early Sunday morning, unless I can get my flight changed. Yep, so good. I will see you there, ma'am, Sonia. All right. So we're about to hop over to the Hyper Lounge in about 9 minutes. So as you can see down at the bottom, right? Come on over and attend the Hyper Lounge, where we're going to show you. We can show you better than we can tell. We can show you better than we can tell you, but I'm going to show you and tell you all about our Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collides. And look, we are starting a challenge. Okay, we're starting a challenge. I'm gonna start at April 1st. So I'm gonna give people time. I'm giving people time to come on and join us in our community so you can get started, because on not April 1st, April 11th, okay? I'm choosing April 11th because that is the day of the new moon in Aries, which is really with the new moon in the beginning of the year, which is always April, is the beginning of the year. That's when the actual year really starts, by the first new moon of the year, again, which is in Aries. And it's April 11th, which is a Sunday. Okay. So we're going to start our trading plan, or I call it the Stemi challenge, right? We're starting the Stemi challenge on April 11th, which is a Sunday. So number one, what you want to do is take that information right there, linktree/coach.hadassah, click Zoom, enter in the passcode power, all caps POWER, right? So we can show you what we have over in our community, and we're going to talk about the trading plan that we're starting. We calling this the Stemi challenge, because in 12 weeks, I want to show you what you can do in 12 weeks from $100, right? Are you up for the challenge? Look, I'm an Aries. We do challenge, right? We do challenge, but we do beneficial challenges. We ain't doing the crazy stuff that ain't worth a hill of beans. Okay. So come on over, because we'll be there in a few minutes. Look, I'm coming in now on the hyper launch. So grab that information. Okay. Grab that information, and I'm hopping in there right now. All right. So we'll see you again a little bit later, but right now on the hyper launch, come on over. All right. Peace.